welcome back to another episode of the podcast Tits, Tea and Trauma with me, Neve. This week I'm gonna be just updating you on the first week I have of being officially unemployed. I'm also gonna be taking the time to celebrate the fact that I have left the hospitality industry, albeit, is that the right word? Albeit, whatever, that fancy word. Probably temporarily, and just get into all my fucking pet peeves and also your pet peeves as well, because I asked on my Instagram for people to send some stuff in, and yeah, just have a little ranty rant, get it all out, you know. Before I get into the episode, just a reminder to follow me if you're listening on Spotify and rate the podcast, please. If you would like to actually watch me, I am also putting these episodes on YouTube, so head over to Neve Rourke, which is the name of my YouTube, and subscribe, like, share, follow me on Instagram at titsttrauma with 2 A's at the end, or is that the Tits Tea Trauma podcast? One of them is the TikTok and one of them is the Instagram, but follow me on both because why not? Anyways, let's just get into the episode, shall we? Hello guys, happy Saturday. I'm filming on a Saturday and it don't feel like a Saturday because I've been unemployed for a week, but I never film on weekends because usually I'm working. Just a little note, if I sound really bunged up, it's because I am. I'm so dramatic. I've literally got the slightest cold, but I'm sick and I can't do anything. So I'm like, oh, can I even film today? Like, I'm so tired. Shut up. Yes, I can. I literally have the fucking sniffles. That's it. There's nothing even wrong with me and I'm a bit tired. And I've also had 2 periods this month. Like, I just finished my last period and it came literally like a week after my other period, so you know, I'm just exhausted and my body's all over the place, and I'm also stressed about the fact that I'm leaving the country in 3 weeks, but we'll get into that. First of all, let's go into my hyperfixation of the week, because I actually have one, like a proper one kind of right now, and it's Married at First Sight. Has anyone been watching it? Because I have. MAFS, Married at First Sight, I'm going to be honest, watch it when it's all out on the thing rather than watching it, you know, when episodes come out every day or every week or whatever. But this time I've started watching it early, and usually if I have the whole series to watch, I'll skip the weddings because like they're kind of boring. But I've been watching it from the start and I love it. Like, why was there fucking drama in the first episode, literally? The Hindus, like, does that even, because one of the guys said that he would wife swap, which is like, why would you even say that? You know what I mean? Like, why would you? I kind of get it. Like, no, do I get it? Because why would you go into it and just be like, oh yeah, by the way, I might steal one of your guys' wives? Like, maybe that's something you say to your friends, but I don't know if you say that in front of the people that you're like about to embark on this journey with. Anyways, I have a love-hate relationship with MAFS because I feel like sometimes the relationships are actually so toxic, it's scary. And I like how the, like, what are they called, like relationship counselors or whatever, you know, the 3, like Paul and the other 2, I can't remember their names. They do usually like call people out, and I love it when they do that, but they also, like, I feel like enable these really, really toxic relationships too much. Maybe that's just what we see though, maybe like behind the scenes there's some like more therapy going on, because some of the behaviour, not so much this season I feel like, but in past seasons I've literally been like, that is a scary person and they need fucking help before they go near another fucking person. And that's coming from me, babe, you know. I can't talk. Well, maybe I can, because, you know, I've learned from my mistakes, but there's one queer couple on there this season. I feel like they always do a queer couple. They need to throw some more in though. Like, just one token gay is just not enough, especially with the drama they bring. But they're called Eve and Charlie, and I just don't understand why the fuck they are. Well, they've actually, spoiler alert, they've just both decided to leave now. But what the fuck? What was that? If you were watching it, like, they were obsessed with each other at the wedding, and then at the honeymoon everything went wrong, and then it was just like, why are you, any single conversation they have was like an argument, and I was like, oh my god, this is so me and my ex-girlfriend, like, I am so Charlie. And like, it was weird because I thought Charlie was like not manipulative, because but I sort of saw, I think maybe because I saw bits of myself in her, and like sometimes, and like she was very reactive and explosive, and I was kind of like, has she got BPD? Like, she literally fell in love with Eve in the first in the wedding, and then was like in love and obsessed, but then like some of the behavior and the way that, like, it's hard because literally this is why it reminds me of me and my exes, because anytime basically Eve would like kind of shut down and Charlie would like react a lot, which like if that first happens, it's like, Charlie, chill. But then because Eve kind of kept shutting her off, she kept reacting, and it got to the point where it's like, oh, well, Charlie kind of has a point now. Like, what is Eve even still doing in this situation if she's just gonna keep, like, being like, I'm sorry and stuff, and then shutting her down? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I just think it was like a classic case of these two people do not fucking work, and they are bringing out the worst in each other, and it would just like, it was just so frustrating to watch, because you had Charlie going there like, I just want to prove to you that I'm not a monster and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, why is this me? Like, you have like a emotional outburst because of mental illness or whatever in a relationship, and then the other person shuts down, and then and then it's like, you're Charlie in that situation, or how I was, you're like, have I done like do you still like me and stuff? And then they're saying yeah they do, but their actions are like showing they don't, and it just drives you fucking crazy, because it's like, why can't you just be like, look, like, no, I'm not into you anymore, like, I don't, do you know what I mean? Anyways, they've left now, thankful, because I actually couldn't watch it any longer, because like, I love drama, but when it's like just like constant, and usually I like it when it's a man getting the heat, like, I didn't know who to side with in that argument, because I could sort of see both sides, and I feel like maybe I missed some, like, I don't know how it escalated to the point that it was. And then, hot take, okay, so one of the couples, actually two of the couples, the guys have said like from the off that they're not attracted to their partner. One of them said because they're not into curvy women, which is like, why would you say that? But that's not the couple I'm about to talk about. I forgot their names. Adam and Polly. He's like not. They like get along personality wise, but he said from the start that he's not physically attracted to her at all. And I'm so confused why. I don't know if Polly's just a bit delusional, because like, he's genuinely saying that, but then she still like is dead positive about him, and I'm like, and then in the last commitment ceremony, yeah, is that what it's called? When they sit down with the therapist, basically, Adam again was saying like, he said it was bad actually, he said it wrong, he was like, yeah, I am actually starting to think that Polly's actually good looking, and everyone was like, and like, he was proper getting grilled, which I do think the grilling is valid, but also there comes a point where it's not his fault. It's hard because they slept together on the first night, so that's where it's kind of hard to defend him, and I'm not usually one to defend men, but I also did kind of feel bad for him, because he is maybe just not attracted to her, and yeah, they're like, work on it, but it's been like 3 weeks now, and I feel like the more you force it, like, I'm sorry, this is where I stand, because if I was Polly, or if I was the other lady who her husband said that he just wasn't physically attracted to her, I would just leave in that moment, because what are you, that would keep me awake for the rest of the relationship. I would be like, do you remember that time you literally fundamentally said that I wasn't attractive? Or do you remember the time that I walked down the aisle and you thought you were disappointed? Like, how can you, I mean, that's obviously because I'm clearly insecure, and they're probably better women than me, and hats off to them, but I'm sorry, no, I couldn't get over that, me. I just couldn't. But anyways, yeah, I've had quite a chilled, fun week. It's really hard, like the first, like, because I constantly feel like I've got to be doing something, like I've got work or something, and obviously I've not. But then I also do, like, I feel like if I didn't have the podcast, I'd have actually no responsibilities other than the fact that I need to pack up my whole room and pack up like a backpack to take to Asia with me, which is like, I've not started doing yet, but I feel like, I mean, I do literally have to leave Manchester in a week, but like, I just don't understand, like, because why am I going to pack everything, you know? I don't have another room to like pack anything, I don't have boxes, so I'm just going to like, I guess on the day or the day before, like, put everything in a pile so that it's easy to take down. But yeah, I'm kind of struggling with it's so weird, like, you think you'll leave a job or whatever, and you'll have nothing to do, and suddenly you'll just feel like this weight has been lifted. But I literally constantly feel stressed, and like I've got something to do, and I like can't relax. And I know it's like, shut the fuck up, because everyone that's listening is probably like listening because they're still working hospitality. It's like, shut up, like, what are you complaining about? And I'm not, but I'm just saying that I like, why am I stressed? And to be fair, I figured it out because last night I had a dream about leaving, and basically in my dream, so basically this time last year I was on my first sort of solo trip. I went to Berlin and then Budapest, and then I was meant to go to Poland. But my granny passed away when I was in Budapest, so I had to fly home. And obviously that was fucking kind of traumatic, because I was on my own, and it was so annoying because it's like I've gone and done this solo trip, that putting myself out of my comfort zone, and like something terrible happened. Like that's the reason, they're the intrusive thoughts of like, this is gonna happen, that's the anxiety I get, and then it fucking happens. Like, give me a break. But anyway, so in my dream last night, I was like stressing because like I was meant to be flying soon and I hadn't packed or something, you know, typical dream stress stuff. And then my granny was there, and then this is kind of heavy, sorry, but like I was like saying to my granny, like, please make sure you're still here, like don't let go until I'm back, sort of thing. And I was like, I woke up and I was like, that's probably why I'm so stressed. I'm scared to go to the other side of the fucking world because it's scary, and it's scary being away from family and things like that, and things fucking change fast, which I've unfortunately had to learn. And I think subconsciously, I'm hoping this is why I'm so anxious, because I'm getting like anxiety pains, like, you know, when you think you're fucking having a heart attack or something. Like, I just feel kind of like ill and on edge quite a lot, and I hope it's just that I'm anxious about that, and that's like something natural to be, because I'm sure the people that I'm going with as well, I'm sure they're anxious. And I hope it's not like my impending winter mental breakdown, because that tends to happen. But I just think it's a lot of pressure when you're mentally ill. And oh my god, my dad better not listen to this, and my family, because they're already worried enough about me. But like, obviously I have a fucking whole podcast about my mental illness. I'm hyper aware of it, and I know that it is kind of like a risk to go to the other side of the world where you don't, obviously I'll have really good health insurance, hopefully, but like where you don't have access to that healthcare, and like if I have a fucking breakdown, I can't get my dad to come drive an hour and pick me up and bring me home and look after me. And it's scary, but I want to fucking do it. I want to eat pad thai that cost me £1.50, and I want to sit in the sun, and I want to meet people, and I think it's very normal to have the anxieties, right? Tell me comfort me in the comments. No one really comments, but comfort me. Tell me it's okay to have these anxieties, and it doesn't mean that I'm going crazy. I'm just like a normal fucking person, and at least I'm not delusional, thinking that everything's going to be perfect and things like that. And at least I'm aware of my mental health, and I can keep control and keep tabs on it. Oh, that's another thing. Another thing that might have triggered my anxiety recently, or my change in mood, is I started therapy with Suicide & Co. I've mentioned this briefly, I think, in other episodes, but I had my first session on Tuesday, and obviously, like, you're meant to do, like, 11 sessions or whatever, and I thought I'd be able to carry them on in Asia, but then the therapist was like, I'm actually, don't know why they've told you that, because I won't be insured for someone because who's not out of the UK, because if something happens to me, basically, obviously, like, he has a duty of care as a counsellor, I think, which is, like, completely fair enough. But then, obviously, I was then, after that session, I was like, I feel a little bit anxious, and obviously I do, because I've just had a session where I've been talking about my mum's suicide for an hour. That's obviously the point, like, it's hard. And then I was like, if we do these 5 sessions and then we've got to stop when I go to Asia, if we really get into it, and then I'm sort of like, oh fuck. And I really wanted to do this therapy before I went to Asia, because basically the point I want to do it, and I said this to the therapist, is that like I want to be able to feel my mum again. And the reason that I can't, I think, is because I've got really big walls up, because it's too hard to talk about and too hard to actually deal with. Like, yeah, I'm fine sitting in front of a camera and talking about it, I'm fine joking about it, but that's not actually connecting to the feelings of it and talking about it. Like, when I actually do, like, when he was asking me things, I was like freezing up, and I was doing this, and he was like, what's this? If you're listening, I'm just like stroking my hair, and I was like, oh bitch, you seen me. It's obviously something, because I'm uncomfortable and I need to, like, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I've kind of lost my train of thought, but basically, so I want to get to the point where I can sit and feel those feelings, so when I see beautiful things, I can be like, like, reflect, you know, and feel close to my mum, and know that, because, like, I don't know, just sort of feel her, because the things that in these different countries and the landscapes, everything's just so beautiful, and it would just be nice to be able to, you know, reflect properly and be in a place where I'm properly open to it and I'm not just constantly in this fight or flight mode and constantly like because I think that's what I am and what I have been for a while, is just constantly in fight or flight, constantly stiff, like constantly with back pain and fucking leg pain, even though I'm only 24, just because deep down I'm constantly anxious because of trauma and because of the loss of my mom. And whilst I'm actually fine day to day, I'd like to be able to work on that. But I worry that because I've only got 5 sessions before I go away and then I'm not allowed to continue until I come back, which I plan to be away for months and months and months, will I be in like halfway point? Will I be really, really vulnerable? Like I don't, and then like it's actually maybe best to just go and not do the therapy beforehand. So I'm going to speak to him about that next week because the therapy session kind of made me feel more vulnerable than I sort of thought. It's so funny, like, you talk the talk on this fucking podcast or with people, like, get therapy, but it is difficult. It's difficult, isn't it? And that's why you've got to be in the right place to sort of deal with it. But anyway, let's get on into the body of this podcast. Why am I, like, what am I actually doing? I've left hospitality. Yay! And I won't lie, like, I'll probably go back, like if I come home and get a job here, or even when I'm in Asia or Australia, like I'll probably, the job that I'd likely would get is hospitality. Because hear me out, so basically I worked in retail whilst I was like in uni, and then I left that when I finished uni because I got like a 9-to-5 in an estate agent, and then I also got a 9-to-5 in recruitment and I hated it. And then I got fired from the recruitment, and then I got a job in Freight Island in Manchester. It's like a big, I don't work there now, I'm not doxing myself, but like it's like a big bar restaurant thing. And do you know what? Hospitality can be fun, you know? Depending on the people that you work with, it can be fun. Anyways, Freight Island, whilst it was good because basically I kind of had it easy because my friend Beth, who I've spoke about a lot on this podcast, she worked there already and she was like a supervisor as well, so she already had friends there. So then I was kind of like welcomed into like her friendship group, and like it was just really nice because then work is a lot more fun because if you get put with people that you can chat with, and it's very, very chilled. I think I've been quite lucky in the fact that the like last 2 places that I've worked in, and maybe it's like, it's probably not all hospitality in Manchester, to be honest, they've been quite chilled. Anyway, so Freight Island kind of closed for the winter and fucked us over a bit, so I had to get another job, and that job was the restaurant in my, like, it was in the suburb, the area of Manchester where I live. It was like a bar restaurant there, and that's where I've been working for the last year and a half, and obviously I've said, I've left now. And honestly, objectively, probably the best job I've ever had because everyone is so great and nice, and I have genuine friendships from that place and people in my life that, you know, they just make it better, and you just know that you're gonna walk in and people are like, hi, and just like, it's just, I could not do hospitality if I didn't get along with my co-workers. Like, I would genuinely, maybe shouldn't say that online. Like, I was gonna say like I'll fucking hit someone with a pan or something, but like you cannot do that kind of service job without having a team of people that you actually like. I don't understand how you could, because the things that customers do, the things that the fucking kitchen do is actually sometimes insane. There's so many things I wish I could say. I wish I could say about things, but I can't. But I can do things about, like, customers and stuff like that. And you know what it is? Like, I don't actually hate, like, speaking to people and being in a customer-facing environment. It's just, like, when you do it every day, it's so draining. Like, it's literally like being an actor. Like, you go in and you've got to and obviously some people, I just think when customers come in to like a restaurant or something, and it's not like a Michelin star high-end restaurant, and they are actually asked about not the service. Obviously the service has got to be good. Like, I always give my best service, but you know, when they're just nitpicky, I just think, shut the fuck up. and eat your fucking food. Like when they care about things like, oh, this is the biggest thing for me. So where I worked, our opens and close downs took so fucking long, okay, because the whole outside area, all these huge ass ugly fucking cushions have to be brought in. You have to wipe every single menu down. For me, I don't mind the little jobs like wiping menus and stuff like that, cleaning things. I get that, it's so fine. But for like, but it was the bringing the cushions in and like the winding the big awning in by hand and like bagging like these pillows that the customers don't even fucking use anyway. By the way, we have like pillows on cushions, and in the winter, we have throws. So you have cushions, throws, and then big, huge cushions. And then all the chairs, you've got to bring it in. And then, like, it literally takes, like, an hour. Like, over an hour. And it's like, I don't mind, you know, I don't mind there being customers in the place if they're happy to let me do my closing jobs. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't fucking affect them. That's not what bothers me. In fact, if we didn't have all them closed down jobs, I would be happy to stay till like 1 a.m. Like, you know, but it's just how daunting it is to do all that fucking physical work after you've been on your feet all day, and it's just like, so, oh my god, this feels like I'm complaining and it's so stupid, but it was just draining every single day. And then when you'd have customers, like some customer left a review once being like, the staff were closing up around us. Why did I drop a cushion on your steak? No, I didn't. So just eat. It literally does not affect you at all. Like, first of all, don't come into a restaurant when it's near closing time, bitch. Like cook at home, get a takeaway in, put a pizza in the oven. Do you know what I mean? You know, sometimes it gets to the point in hospitality where you're just like, I can't believe people have the audacity to come into a restaurant and order things. I can't believe people think it's okay to go out to eat. I can't believe they think it's alright to inconvenience me and a server by ordering a drink or ordering tap water. Because you know what happens when you order tap water? I've got to get it myself because of the bar. I'm going to bother making fucking tap water when I can do that myself. But it's funny because I, without fail, will sit down at a table at a restaurant and be like, can we have some tap water, please? But I hate it when people do that. There's so many fucking petty little things that I hated as a server, and honestly, you'll probably have done some of the things, and I probably do some of the things as well. But yeah, it's the close down for me. Like, and I walk past all these other like restaurants, and all they have is a couple chairs outside, and I'm like, that closed must be bliss. Do you know how much better my customer service would be in that last hour if I didn't have to worry about the fact that I've got to do 20 billion fucking things once you leave? I'd be getting you oh, there's a cat outside. Anyways, oh, cute cat. Anyways, this leads me into just discussing, like, I asked on my Instagram for you guys to send in some pet peeves or like things that customers have said to you that really annoy you, because I feel like they'd prompt some of my own opinions and things like that, because sometimes when I try and think of things, my brain just goes flatlines. If you do want to be involved, because I'm going to start posting more like things on my stories and stuff for like involving you guys, then follow me on Instagram, Tits Tea Trauma Podcast. And also on my personal, it's just Neve Rock as well, because sometimes I'll share and post things on there. But anyways, the first one that someone sent in to me was when you check back and they say everything's fine and then they complain to the manager later. I cannot tell you how many fucking times this happened, because part of our standards of service, I'm sure it's like this in most other restaurants, is you've got to go and check back on the person's food. Tell me why I check back on this person, they say yeah, everything's all good, and then I clear their plate and they go, the empty plate, by the way, the plate that they've licked clean, that they've scraped the last remnants up and it's all in their nails and stuff. Tell me why they go, do you know what? The fish and chips was just a bit soggy. Okay. What do you want me to do about that, miss? Because, like, you finished it. Do you mean it's soggy right now because it's in the lining of your stomach and it's all getting acided and liquided up down there? Is that why it's soggy? Because if it was that soggy, why the fuck did you finish eating it and not tell me when I asked you, is everything okay there? Oh, do you know what? The worst is when you ask if everything's alright and no one says anything. And it's like, right, okay. Fuck you then. I hope it's shit. I don't actually care how good it is, you know? I just wasted my breath on you motherfuckers trying to ask if your fish was okay, and then you're still probably going to have the audacity to complain about it after. Like, it actually fully baffles me. And do you know what? I hate when people complain, period. Unless there's something genuinely, like, because, let's be honest, I don't care if you complain about the food. Obviously I care because I don't want you to have a bad experience, but I personally, it's not going to hurt my feelings because I didn't make the food, okay? So, but it's just annoying when people complain about stupid... Do you know what it is? I don't care if you complain because you've ordered a steak and you wanted it medium rare and it's come well done. Fine, complain. I don't care if you complain because there's something fundamentally wrong about the food. Fine, complain. I don't care if you complain because there's a hair in your food, even though all the chefs... Oh, this happens so many times. I once had one table, this was recently, I had one table complain that they found a hair, a blonde hair, by the way, a long blonde hair when they were all blonde, in each one of their foods. And it's so funny because the chefs are all bald, pretty much. The chefs on the food that when it's been complained that's been a hair in there, bald. So where's that hair come from? Because it's clearly not mine, because mine's fucking ginger, and like, how would my hair dig deep into your food when I've just taken it from the fucking kitchen table? Like, and my hair's up. How? But like it's very clearly your hair, love. And like, how is it in every single one of your meals? But anyways, things like that. Do you know what? Sometimes, actually, I don't even care. Like, if I find a hair in my food, I might just keep eating it. Is that disgusting? I tell you, worse things go on in kitchens. I tell you. I can't tell you, but worse things go on in kitchens. Like, I will continue to eat out, but I also, like, do not trust food when I eat out. But yeah, so I don't mind when you complain and there's actually genuinely something wrong with the food. But I hate it when people complain either one, about something that's like a preference, or two, say they don't like it. Like, they'll be like, oh, it's spicy. I'm like, well, yeah, you ordered a pizza with chilies on it. It's obviously spicy. What do you want me to do about that? And the annoying thing about the place, well, it's not annoying actually, it was handy, but the place where I work, they will just like comp you, which means like take it off the bill or give you a discount or remake it, which is a server, it's fine. But also some days I was like, I don't even want to bother. I always did because I can't be arsed dealing with it, but I even don't want to bother to tell the manager because, like, why? I'm sorry that you don't like the food, like, because of your personal preference, but like, that is genuinely not our problem because you're not gonna like fucking everything, and you know, just don't order it again. Or again, when they complain that something's like, they'll be like, oh, like, this burger's too cheesy. Well, it says it's got cheese on it, so why, if you don't like cheese, why would you get the cheeseburger? I don't understand. And then stand there and complain to me when you fucking finished it that it was too much cheese on it. What do you want me to do about that? Cancel the fucking all the cows that are about to get milked to make your cheese? Like, I don't. Anyways, someone said that they don't like when customers click their fingers at you for service, which is actually insane to me. Which is actually like, I can't, like, oh, the cat's there again. I cannot. If someone dared click their fucking fingers at me, I would literally just stand there and be like, look around like, oh, sorry, who are you clicking at? Have you got some sort of dream to be in a mariachi band? You're just practicing? Is that what that is? Because I know for a fact that you're not clicking at me. You're not clicking at me for service, me on minimum wage. You are not clicking your fucking fingers at me because you're not gonna get what you wanna get. Because what? Like, that has never happened to me, thank fuck, but I can't believe that people actually do that. And this is a friend that sent this in and we spoke about it and she was like, yeah, they're clicking at me all the time. I'm like, that is disgusting. Like, what? Am I... Sorry. I just bark at them because they obviously think I'm a dog. So, yeah. Is that what you're doing? I'm a cat. Yeah, no, fuck off. Do not click at me. Do not click at your servers. It's fucking weird. I don't mind a little hand up, or I don't mind a little finger for the bill. Fine. Do you know what? Sometimes I prefer that. Do you know what I don't like? When someone goes, excuse me, and I'm on the other side of the restaurant, and I know they're just going to ask the bill, and then I walk all the way up to the table, and they go, can I have the bill, please? And I know that is a petty one because they probably feel too rude because I kind of don't ever do the hand bill sign. If you don't know what I'm talking about, how do you not? But when you pretend you're signing a bill to get the bill, like, I don't do that because I feel like rude and uncomfortable, but I actually prefer when people do that, because then I don't have to walk fucking all the way to your table for you to ask the question I knew you were going to ask, to then walk all the way back, to then walk all the way back to bring you the bill, and then probably walk all the way back to go and get you the card machine just to bring it. Speaking of bills, let me tell you about this run-in I had with this customer, and this was genuinely the first time I felt blood boiling anger at a customer, and I had to remove myself from the situation in order to save my job and to save that man's life. Okay, that's a bit deep, maybe not. And I've genuinely not forgiven this man and for this behaviour. So basically, I was on shift, and I think I was on like a fucking like 10-12 hour shift, and I'd been on my break, and like we obviously have people that cover our sections at work, and anyway I came back onto my section at 5 o'clock because like that would have been when my break had finished, and I'd already been kind of not had a shitty day, but I was already a little bit emotional because basically one of my friends on shift had been really upset because of something one of the chefs said to them, so I was already pissed off, okay? And you know, that's not that man's fault anyways, that's not even relevant, because that is like not, I was angry with valid reason, I think, and I wish I could remember it fully, but let me just try and tell you what happened. So basically, our restaurant, our outside area, also another side note, I hate when people say restaurant instead of restaurant. It's not a restaurant, it's a restaurant. Anyways, that's irrelevant. So our outside area is cut, so there's like booths on one side, then a small corridor, and then like tables of 2 on one side, and you'll have like the back section of like 5 tables will be one person's, then the middle section and the front section is like each waiter's section basically, if it's busy enough to be full. And I had I covered someone's middle section, okay, and you know, they've given me a handover, this table needs this, blah blah blah. That's fine. I've walked up and down multiple times, checked. Most of these tables are in the middle of service, they're eating. And for me, if I'm not going to recheck back on you multiple times, because if I was the customer, it's just annoying. Like, leave me alone. I've got my food. It's great. Leave me alone. But because it was like a busy night, and I wanted to make sure that I was like accessible. This is why it pissed me off so much, because I knew for a fact I had been walking up and down the aisle and I'd clocked this couple that were there, and I think they were like in the middle / nearly finished eating. So I thought, do you know what, I'm not gonna disturb them, they're clearly on a date, they were in a deep conversation and they were still eating, but I stood near them and walked past them at least 3 times. Anyway, so I'm at the till, which is at like the front of the like outside restaurant bit, and I'm in the middle of doing something, and I think I'm in the middle of sorting someone else's bill or something, and this man comes up to me from like one of these tables of 2 who I just referred to and was like, can we get the bill please? And I'm like, oh yeah, where are you sat? And he's like, on that table, and it doesn't point or anything. I'm like, yeah, sorry, on which table? They don't have table numbers on the tables. Like, we have table numbers as the servers. I know what table numbers they are, but the customers don't. He's like, can I? And he's already got a bit of an attitude, but I'm just like ignoring it, because I think, where's that attitude come from? You had a fight with the missus or something? Because I don't think it's directed at me, love. And he goes, I'm on that table over there. And I'm like, and I'm getting frustrated because I'm busy. And I'm like, oh yeah, which table? And he just points. And I'm like, sorry, sir. I didn't say sir, because what the fuck? I'm not American, but he goes, but I'm like, sorry, which table? And he goes, well, maybe if you come over and served us, you'd know. And I was like, okay, no need for that fucking attitude, was there? No need to bite my head off, because I'm certainly not going to be able to get you the bill with my head rolling on the floor, am I, sir? So he's fully just like talked to me like I'm a piece of shit, and I'm very much at the point now, and I, like very much was at the point then in hospitality in general, but especially after this encounter, where it's like, if you're gonna talk to me like shit, you're gonna get the same energy back, because I'm not wasting no time being smiley when you're being the fucking devil reincarnate, you know? So he spoke to me like that, so I went, okay, when I'm just busy at the minute, so I'll bring the bill over in a second. And then I go back over to the station, and I don't know if there was more said, but like, trust me, I know that doesn't sound that dramatic, but the tone that we both used with each other and that he used with me initially in the whole interaction was so uncomfortable and so rude and so icy. So I went back to the till where I was previously, you know, because I was busy sorting someone's bill. And I was like, talking to my colleague, like, that man just spoke to me like shit. And I turn around, and him and this woman are pointing and laughing at me. So I'm fucking fuming. I am absolutely raging because obviously I'm already a bit uptight about my mood. I'm like, I'm gonna go off at this man. So I choose peace, and I choose to go into the kitchen round the back, and I see my manager, and I'm like, I'm fucking fuming. And she's like, what? And I'm like, I explain, and I'm like, he's a fucking cunt. I've got a bad habit of calling customers cunt, I will say. It's something that I'm not proud of, but I'm like, he's a fucking cunt. He just spoke to me like that. My manager's like, all right, calm down. Do you want me to go serve the restaurant? I'm like, no, actually, I'll do it. Because I just think, if you're gonna be rude, babe, then I'm gonna stand on business, you know? I'm gonna sort this situation out for myself. I'm not gonna send my manager over. I'm a big girl. Let me go. Let me take them their blessed bill over. So I print their bill and I put it down on the table. It's like a silver bill tray, and I go, put it down with a little attitude, okay? And I go, not sure what just happened there, like in like that kind of voice kind of thing. And he was like, no, neither do I. And I go, I think I said something like, I just don't think I deserved the tone that you spoke to me with. And he was like, yeah, but like, I'm not being funny, like, we've been sat here waiting for service for like the last 45 minutes and I've not seen a waiter in the last 45 minutes. And I was like, that's like, I'm obviously really sorry to hear that if that is the case. However, I only clocked in half an hour ago, so I'm sorry that your service hasn't been great, but you would know that it wasn't me that was serving you, basically. And then I was like, and also in the last half an hour I've walked past you 3 times, so I don't know how you've not seen a server, and I do apologise if that is the case, but I know that I have walked past you multiple times, so I don't really know where you kind of giving liar. You kind of giving, I'm a grown man and I lost my rag at someone just, like, doing their fucking job. But I'm like, anyway, I'm sorry, I do apologise, like, weird situation, like, but don't talk to me like that again, basically. And, like, we have service charge on all our bills, and he's like, I'll take the service off, and I'm like, no, yeah, you will take the service off, I don't want your money. And I'm like, anyways, bye. Anyway, so our restaurant sends, like, with bookings, sends, like, can you review your experience? And he obviously sent a bad review about me, and like I read it, and it was so funny because I read it with like my manager, like they weren't bothered because like I'm not usually like that. They obviously like they knew that I didn't act off nothing because I'm quite most of the time tolerable, like, of people and of attitudes. Well, no, that's a lie. I used to be up until that man. That changed the game for me. But yeah, like, I didn't get in trouble for it, and if I did, I would have stood on business, and I did stand on business when, like, and I was like, by the way, they're gonna write a review about me, and I will tell the owner my side of the story because I stand on business and I don't regret anything that I said or anything that I did, and I think they can fuck off. So anyway, it's so funny, I read the review and it was like, we came for food and we didn't have great service, and then when I asked for the bill, the waitress had an attitude, and then when she served the bill, she doubled down on her attitude, and I was like, thanks, sir, I did. You're fucking welcome. And then they got a fucking £100 voucher for their troubles, which pissed me off. Like, I don't act like it's fine, but it pissed me off. Like, I was annoyed about this man for weeks. Like, he lived rent fucking free, and I was like, it genuinely, I'm not serving him again. If he comes in again, I am not serving because I just genuinely won't be able to be nice to him. Anyways, another thing you guys said was when customers say, give me a, and then it's like, give me a coffee, give me the, which do you know what, I've got tolerance for this if you're American, because that is just American culture. Like, when I was solo traveling in Dublin, I met this American, and like we went for food together, and he's very much like, give me like fish and chips, and I was like, are you like aware that to English people like comes across and I'm sure Irish people as well, we were in Ireland, but comes across like rude? And he was like, what, really? I was like, yeah, because it's like you're demanding, like. And he was like, well, what do you guys say? We say, oh, please could I have a steak, please could I have this? So if they're American, and I love American customers, I'm going to be honest, because they usually tip, and you can usually have a conversation with them about something like where they're from, and a lot of times they're overly fucking nice. So, unpopular opinion maybe, but I love American customers. But yeah, I do slightly get irked when people say, give me this, give me that. even though I know that, or like if I'm with people and they're like, I'll have this, and I'm like, does please, is it that hard to ask politely? But then it depends like on the type. Then I sometimes like when people are like that, because it shows that they're just being casual. Like if they're doing it in a rude way, like give me a porn star martini, I'm like, okay, why are you talking to me rude? But if they're like, oh yeah, just give me this, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll give you that. And then like it's like kind of chilled, you know? Like I don't like customers where I have to be like dead formal, because it's just not really what I'm like as a person, you know? One of the old chefs at my work sent in steak, medium rare, no blood, which is funny. Obviously, this is like probably more kitchen lore than it is for me, because again, I don't eat meat. Like these people be asking for their steaks cooked in certain ways. I'm like, yeah, sure. And then the kitchen's like, I can't do that. But yeah, that is so stupid. Medium rare with no blood. What the fuck do you mean? So you want medium well then? Because what, like, I also don't really get why people are so, like, frightened when their meat's, like, well, when it's steak, obviously, when it's allowed to be pink. Like, if I ate meat, I would always get medium rare. I don't know if that's just because, like, how my parents have been indoctrinated, that's how they eat it. But now I'm like, why would you, if you're so afraid of blood and stuff, why are you eating some dead animal? Because, like, it's obviously going to bleed, you know, because it's, like, was a living thing. My friend Abby, who was on the podcast, sent in that she hates when people have scanned their app. She worked at Starbucks, I think. She hates when people scan their app for discount before she's even logged it onto the till. And I fear that if I had an app to scan, I would be one of these people, because I feel like I just like to be prepared, and I like to, like, you know, not waste the time of the barista. So I'm sorry, Abby, I might be sticking up on that. I don't know the full situation. But that's kind of where I stand with that one. Another thing she said was asking me to be served in under a minute and then ordering 3 large drinks and then complain, like, not understanding why she says she can't do them in under a minute. Yeah, it's just basic people. Like, I fucking hate when people complain that things have been too long. Like, at work, we do cocktails and they'll order, like, fucking 5 cocktails and it'll have been 10 minutes. They'll be like, where are our drinks? Or people don't seem to understand that they're not the only people in the restaurant, okay? So I understand it's annoying. You and your partner have ordered a glass of wine and a lager, and, you know, realistically it takes a minute to do both of those drinks and pour them and take them out, yeah. But what you're not aware of is that table 36 and 35 have just ordered 20 cocktails and there's only 2 bartenders on and they're already in the middle of that check. So they're going to have to finish that check before they can get to your lager and wine. Like, if it's been, like, a significant amount of time, then, yeah, start to worry that we've forgotten and tell us. But, like, you are, if, again, I stand on the hill, if you are going to complain about your food, if you're going to complain about wait times, if you're going to complain about... So, you know, when people could complain they don't like the cocktail, I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? Why did you order the cocktail then? If you wanted to be safe and if you're going to complain, get a porn star, get something that you... Get a pint, get something you've drank before and you know you like. Do not complain to me that you don't like a cocktail. That is not my problem, okay? Your personal preference is not my fucking problem. Don't order it. I don't order cocktails with tequila in because I know I fundamentally hate tequila. So I don't order it, you know? Anyways, what was I even ranting about before that? Yeah, stay at home, basically. Stay at home if you're going to complain about wait times when they're actually reasonable, because the restaurant's probably fucking full. I hate it, especially when people go, they come out on a busy day, on a weekday, on a fucking bank holiday, and then they complain that they've got to wait for things. I'm like, yeah, of course you do. If you didn't want to wait, stay home. Stay at fucking home and order it on Deliveroo, and then you can see how long it's going to take. Because oh, do you know what? Will you check on it for us? Yeah, I will. I'm probably not gonna. Because if I go in, you don't understand. If I go in and ask where table 45's food are, I'm the one that gets shouted at, okay? Because in the kitchen, they're hot, there's got fire on, and they're stressed. And they've got 50 other checks on, because it's not just your table. It's not just your table. I hate... There's so many customers that come in and they go, can we just have this now? And it's like, no, you can't. Because we can't. There's no fast track. If you slip me a 20 quid, I'm not going to fast track your check to the front of the line. Wait. Or make it yourself. Find a pizza in Aldi, put it in the oven, bada bing, bada boom. No complaining, no having to pay for service charge, no wait times other than the time that it takes to cook the fucking food. Or go to McDonald's, you know, where everything's pretty much ready. They'd probably fucking complain there anyway. Do you know what I was talking to my friends about this the other day, and one of them used to work at McDonald's, and she used to say that people would come in and order table service when the restaurant was empty. Like, that would piss me off so much. First of all, why are you doing, unless you have like a disability or something, why are you doing table service at McDonald's? Whose fucking idea in the fucking CEO universe of Mackey's was that? Like, it's just fucking, again, unless you are disabled or something, just stand in the fucking line, bring your food to the table, bring your food to the car. It's not fucking Six by Nico, babe, in Manchester when they got table service. Table service? Speaking of table service, when people come into a restaurant and don't understand that it is table service, stop getting up and going to the bar. I'll be with you in a second, sir. And the bar are going to have to tell me your order anyway so that I can put it through, because the bar are fucking busy, okay? I hate it. Or I understand sometimes that you don't know the way a restaurant works, but you can see me walking around with my little pad, and I'm not doing that for the good of my own health. I'm doing it because it's table service. And if you were able to go to the bar, I don't know, it'd be a Wetherspoons, okay? Oh, another thing that annoys me, I've always said, to be fair, that at the front host desk at work, we do need a sign that says, please wait to be seated, because regardless of whether you have a booking or not, regardless of whether it's busy or not, I need to seat you because I need to put you on our system, otherwise I'll get in trouble, or otherwise I can mess a booking up. So I fucking hate people who walk in and sit themselves down. Do you know, if I'd stayed, sometimes it's just like, well, now, because also, one, if I've not seen that you've come in and sat down, I may not see you or may not notice you because I'm busy and I'm preoccupied, and then you're going to be sat there and then complain that you've been waiting to be served, and it's because, oh, I didn't know you were in the fucking restaurant because you came and sat yourself down. Secondly, again, people seem to not understand that other people in the world, and someone may have booked that table. So for the love of God, when you go into any restaurant, hover and just ask, can we sit anywhere? It's really not that hard. You're gonna have to use your fucking voice for me to take your order anyway. So use an extra few words just to ask whether you should wait to be seated, because most likely, as in most restaurants, yes, you will. If they take bookings, then yeah, you will have to wait to be seated. Or another one is when you say, oh, and yeah, when people do that, I just am at the point now where if I still work there, I'd probably just ignore them until they acknowledge me. Or sometimes I'll go over and, no, this is pretty much every time, and I go, oh, sorry, did you have a booking? And then they go, oh, no, was I supposed to? And I'm like, no, it's fine. I just wanted to make you feel like a dickhead for that split second because you were too impatient to wait at the door. Because sometimes, you're the only one on the floor and you'll be doing a bill or you'll be taking an order and you can see them waiting and I'm gonna come straight over to you, and then they just fucking sit themselves down, and it's annoying because, one, it makes it look like my manager might be inside and it's like, why the fuck have they just walked in? But two, it's just I'm busy and I will come to you and I care. I'm gonna get you seated, I care about you. Do you know what I mean? Just wait. So fucking annoying. Or do you know one thing that really, really bothers me? It's when, and all the hospitality girlies and gays and theys and whatever will know this, is when it's a hot day, or when, just in general, especially when we have an outside seating area, when people book for the outside seating area and then complain that they're either too cold or too hot. And it's like, read the fucking room, especially on a sunny day, because if you're too hot, imagine how hot we are. It's so annoying. And also, why they complain that they're hot, that they're getting burnt, which we have sun cream at our work and we'll offer the sun cream out. And it's like, well, yeah, first of all, if you choose to sit outside, that is your fucking problem. Dress appropriately. Read the fucking weather. I don't give a fuck. Don't complain to me and ask if you can move inside because it's fucking booked up inside. It's fine, actually, you can ask, but do not get arsey with me if I tell you no, you can't. Okay? Because we've got bookings inside, and sorry, brain rot. I was doing the female officer thing, if you didn't get that. You chose to sit outside, and it's 30 degrees outside, and I feel like I'm gonna pass out because I've not eaten in 4 hours. I'm pale as fuck. I've got my Factor 50 on and I'm still burning through it because I've not had fucking chance, because it's sunny, so it's busy to put more on. I'm sweating from every single orifice that one could sweat from. My underwear's fucking soaked, my apron's rubbing on me. I just want to be in the sun with an Aperol Spritz. I don't even like Aperol Spritz. With my girls, with a glass of wine, whatever. I don't want to be in work, and yet because of you, booking a table at my work, I am here. So don't you dare sit and complain to me that you're too hot. Bring a sombrero. I don't care. It reminds me, again, when I beefed with this woman, okay? Like, so these ladies had a booking for outside, and I just knew from the start of the interaction they were going to be awkward. But one of the ladies, older lady, turned up earlier than the others and was sat outside on a table in the sun, which is not a situation that I'd like to sit out in, I'll be honest. But, like, again, I can't control the sun, and you know it's sunny. You came outside, you know what I mean? So I sit her down on the table, and I'm like, are you alright? And she's like, no, like, I'm too hot. And I'm like, okay, sorry, are you practicing for your audition for BBC Weather? Or, I don't understand why you're telling me that. But anyways, she's like, oh, I'm too hot. And I'm like, do you want me to go see if there's a table inside for you? Because, like, you know, I can. And she's like, I don't know, like, I'll wait. She didn't talk like that at all. But she's like, no, like, I'll wait for my... But she's being arsey about it, like, I've turned the sun on or I've made her hot. Like, that is what annoys me. And she's like, no, I'm going to wait for my daughter or whatever to come. So anyway, she waits for them to come. And next time I look, they're not there and they're sat inside. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. They've clearly complained to someone and asked and been moved inside. And they just had a fucking attitude the whole time. And from that minute, they were kind of rude. And, like, they kept looking at me like I was, like I'd done something. And I was like, what's going on? Anyways, so our salt shakers, they're fixed now. Oh, this is so petty. Our salt shakers were broke. So, but some of them were broke, some of them weren't. Anyways, so this table, like, I deliver their food to the table. They're no longer in my section, by the way, but we all, like, will, if the food bell goes, we all go. If you're free, you go. It's not like just you take your food to your section. So I take their food. It's a Sunday roast. And they ask for salt and pepper. So I give them salt and pepper. And unbeknownst to me, the thing on the salt that keeps the lid on has come off, and you can still use the salt shaker. Like, it still works. But I come in and, like, the girl who was serving them, like, they looked pissed off, and I was like, what's up? And she was like, oh, like, the salt shaker spill, and apparently... So the salt shaker spill... It didn't even go on their food. It went on the fucking floor, and this woman was going to this girl who's new, by the way, and you could tell at the time that she was new, and she's quite quiet when she's serving people and stuff. She was like, it's a disgrace that you've given me a salt shaker that is broken, and now it's gone all over the floor, like, and demanded her to get, like, a dustpan and brush and, like, clean it up. And then when she went over to clean it up, they weren't moving themselves, and they were like, it's disgusting that you're they said to her, it's disgusting that you're cleaning whilst we're trying to eat, when they asked her to go and get the brush to clean whilst they ate. Like, why are you crying over spilt salt? So then I went over and I was like, is everything okay or something? Like, I was just, like, clearing their tables, and she was like, you gave me a salt shaker that was broken. And I was just like, okay, I'm really sorry about that. But the truth is, I'm not, because why are you bothered about that, woman? Why are you bothered? And the way she spoke to me again, obviously this is quite a while ago, so it's hard to exactly remember what was said, but I was fuming. And I went over to the bar and I was like, what a fucking cunt again. I need to stop saying that word within earshots and the rest because then I come down off my anger, and then the rest of the shift I'm like, oh fuck, she probably heard me calling her a cunt and I'm gonna get fired. I didn't think she heard, but I was so uncomfortable the rest of the shift because you had to walk past their table to go inside, to go to the bar, to go to the toilet, to go get food, to do anything. Daggers. If looks could kill, that would have been my last day at that job, I tell you. They did not like me because I gave them a dodgy salt shaker. Get over yourself. Another thing that is more maybe like that I don't understand is when people ask for coffees to be extra hot, and I actually looked this up before I talked about like why you need it to be extra hot, but it's just like I don't understand, because if it's extra hot, like one of the things was like maybe they want to take it away, but I'm saying they're coming into the thing and they're asking for an extra hot coffee, and then they're gonna sit in, and it's like, you should not just, like, do you not, because you can't surely drink it when it's extra hot. But anyways, there were some valid reasons for it, but I just think, like, it's just, I just think, just drink the drink, babe. You know, it's boiled water. How much hotter can it get? But another thing that annoys me is like, oh, do you want any dessert menus, coffees or anything? Yeah, I'll have a coffee. Okay, what kind of coffee? Oh, just a coffee. Oh, it's an Americano. No, I'll have a extra hot caramel flat white. Okay, well, why didn't you say that? Why have I just had to ask you 20 questions to find out what kind of coffee you want? Like, you know, there's multiple kinds of coffee. Like, what? Like, just tell me. Why am I Scouse? Do you know, my TikTok seems to think that I'm a Scouser because all my TikTok is Scouse TikTok now. And like I'm a Liverpool fan, so that's probably why. But then I've not searched anything to do with Liverpool on TikTok. But it's just like, I love it. It's great. Scouse TikTok. It's funny. But do you know what? I think it's because of, you know, that TikToker. No, I'm non-binary. What's the question? Anyways, I forgot what they're called, but I love them and I had a stalk of them, so that's probably why I'm on Scouse TikTok. But yeah, there's so many things that have pissed me off at work, but those two big incidents are the ones where I was like, oh my god, like, I've seen red. Oh, another thing that pisses me off, and I don't know if maybe this is controversial, but when you have a table with kids and then they leave a huge mess and the fucking kids not put any food in the mouth, they've smushed it on the floor, they've smushed it on the table, and they've made absolutely no effort to clear it up at all. And it's like, I'm sorry, would you let your kids eat like that in your house? Because there's absolutely no fucking way that you do. So why is it okay for you to eat like that in a restaurant where I'm now gonna have to clear it up, and they leave all their disgusting gammy little baby wipes on the table and I've got to touch them with my hand? And I understand it's my job, I get paid to clear tables, I understand that, but the state some people leave it in, and it's like, are you not embarrassed? Are you not embarrassed to leave the fucking mush that you've brought all over the floor? Like, it's so weird and it's so rude, and I can't believe you want to bring your kids up to think that it's okay to fucking throw things. Oh, and when kids be running around the restaurant like it's fucking Wacky Warehouse, like I'm carrying a plate that is so fucking hot it could probably kill your child if he runs into me and this huge hot plate falls on him. So why are you letting him run around? Again, stay at home, go to Wacky Warehouse. There's places like this. If I understand, do you know who used to annoy me? The mums and the prams, because it's like, it's an inconvenience to me. Oh, what is this? If you're watching on the YouTube, when I put my thumbs up, that's so crazy. When I put my thumb up, if you're not watching on YouTube, sorry, it gives me a thumb emoji, like a thumb up, thumb down. Anyway, it didn't like the babies and prams comment, because it's like, oh, like, where am I going to put your pram? Because we're not allowed to put it in the walkway and stuff. But actually, they're usually, and it's annoying because you got to pass all the plates over the prams and stuff. But actually, the yummy mummies are actually usually really nice, and, you know, they can stay, they sit in the corner, and they don't usually eat too much, they don't usually drink too much, they kind of just have a little natter with their little prams, and it also takes up loads of room in the restaurants, and then the tables aren't free. Another thing is, like, when people book, like, tables or whatever, and they're like, oh, can I sit here? And it's like, no, you can't, because it's booked. It'll be like a table of two, and they'll be like, can I go sit on that booth, which is evidently for 6 people? And it's like, no. Or when they move themselves, and it's like, have you ever been outside? Like, I've sat you on this table. Oh no, this is what I was going to say before. What pisses me off the most is when the restaurant will have loads of empty tables, we've not got many bookings, and there'll be like one table that's not clean, and it's evidently not clean. And I go, oh yeah, no worries, sit wherever you like. And then they pick the table that's dirty. And it's like, why would you pick the table that's dirty when there's 5 clean tables exactly the same? Exact level of comfort, all got heaters or whatever the fuck they like to complain about, and you pick the one table that evidently has 5 cups on it and some fucking fish and chips from the previous people, and I've not cleaned it up yet, and now I was too busy to clean that up, but now I've got to do it because I'm not going to have you sat there on a dirty table, am I? Baffled, mate. Baffled at just, ugh. But you know, for the most part, you do actually sometimes get really nice people. And I feel like I've rambled on enough. So I really hope you enjoyed this episode of the podcast, because my throat's starting to hurt, and I'm going to end it now because And there's so many other pet peeves, I can't think of any. So yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed this episode of the podcast. Please let me know. Please send me a message, send me a DM, send me something more you'd like to see. Comment down below what you liked about the episode, what maybe you would like me to talk about or improve on. Give it a like, share, subscribe, whatever. So excited. I think it'll be next week's episode, but basically the other day I filmed an episode with my friend Gracie Nuttall from the Dead Sibling Society podcast, and it was 3 hours long. So boy, have I got a good, I'll probably split it into two, but a good, juicy episode for you with Gracie Nuttall. If you know who she is or not, like, go check out her podcast if you're someone that's gone through grief. Because Gracie lost her sister Laura last year, and she has a podcast with someone called Callum who also lost his brother to cancer, and their podcast is great. So can't wait for you guys to hear that episode, or both episodes, because again we talk quite in depth about Gracie's experience with having a sister who passed away from a brain tumour, how that process was like to deal with, how it's like to deal with after and the grief. And then we also, you know, talked about fun friendship stuff, because we haven't seen each other in ages, and our crazy holiday and things like that. So I think it's a really good episode, and just to be able to see Gracie in a more casual way, because she brings a lot of fun to things when they aren't always that fun topics. So it's a really good episode, and I can't wait to edit and send that out and things. But yeah, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Sorry that I'm a little bit under the weather. But yeah, see ya. Thanks for listening. Love you. Bye.